What is going on, guys? So I'm going to show you how to use multiple elements to sort of colour in one object. So if we look at this random shape I've made, and I'm going to be using sort of squares from now on because I was informed in one of my previous videos that it sort of seemed I was showcasing my work rather than actually showing how to do something. So from now on I'm going to sort of use squares and simple shapes, and then you guys can go off and use it in an advanced way. So this object here is one shape. There's all of this is just being extruded down, extruded across, and extruded up, and extruded another square. It is not three shapes, it's one shape. However, we have three elements for it under materials. And what this allows us to do, if I bring this up and I take it off of here, there you go, and I minimize this down so it'll be easier for us to see. Okay, so if I like edit this now, it's full screened it, edit this color here, it will edit that, and vice versa for each one of these colors that I actually have. So let's check out how we do that and how it can be how it can help for different materials. Like for example, I could have done it for my generator, and I could have had this copper here, a separate material. I could have had this part here, this part here. Everything copper could have been different, the actual black parts could have been different, and these bits here could have been different, except these are just normal maps. I guess they couldn't, but it's just one material, but it's a way you can do it. So let's quickly go into Maya or whatever software you're using, doesn't really matter too much, and find out how we do this. So let's delete the shape we got, let's make a new one, and we'll make this one a little bit more random. So if I go right, so now we need to assign a different material to each part of the object. So if I go into the material attribute right now and start changing the color, you'll see all of it's still one material. So all we got to do, let's turn it back to like grayish, all we got to do is go into here, select the faces that you want to be a different material, and then highlight over assign new material. You get this little menu pop up, and then click Lambert, and we can change the colors on the go so we know it's being changed. Not all of these will always apply when throwing it over to Unreal, but it's always nice to see that we have applied. And we've got this one, have it red, and then we've got this one, and we'll have it, and we'll have it what have we not used? Blue. And these two are going to be the same material, so I'm going to leave them as grey. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different materials on our object. What we want to do now is pretty much unwrap everything, and I'm not going to go too much through this because I'm a bit lazy, but if something's a different material, something has a different Lambert in it, it can take up its own texture space, and because this cube, and this cube are completely different Lamberts, we can actually leave them, because if we this, go like this, they all are taking up their own texture space, because if we're going to this one, oh, it's its own whatever, so we can actually leave that, but these two, this one and this one, need to take up their own texture room. So if I like, I guess I would mesh, unitize, and have the seam there, connect them up, unfold, make them smaller. We've got one there, and then we do the same for this one. And pretty much anything that is going to share a material, you're probably going to want to put it in its own texture map, but anything that's not, it doesn't matter if you have it like in any texture map you want. So it's kind of confusing, but I'll explain in a second. Put this down here. Okay, so now these two that share the same material are going to share this texture space. This cube here is going to have its own texture space. This cube here is going to have its own texture space. This cube here is going to have its own texture space. And if you're doing a really complex object, it's just easier to give them their own texture spaces, because when you're if you're going into legacy mode and you go into Photoshop and you're sort of painting them, it's just much easier to go about because they're much bigger and you don't need like a 4K map. You can just use like 1K texture maps. Alright, so now we've got our object. We'll export it out. I don't like doing over explanation, but I guess I kind of need to, and we'll just call it what is this for? This is for elements. Heck yeah. Alright, we'll save that to desktop, and we'll save it as FBX because it's easier for Ue4. We'll export it in. So I'm just dragging it from my desktop. You can click import and actually select the file, but I'm just going to be dragging it from my desktop because it's quicker. There you go, import, yeah, whatever. And we'll delete this one for now, and we'll put our new one in, and it's going to be small. There you go. And as you can see, they didn't get their colors. I don't know why that happened, but they didn't get the colors. But if you come down here after clicking it, you'll see there'll be 4 elements. Goes up to 3 because the first one's 0. There'll be 4 elements because we assigned 4 different materials to our mesh. So you can literally go into each individual element. So if I minimize this, put it down here, so it's easy for us to see what I'm changing. We can start changing the sort of properties of each individual part that had its own element. Go into here, change this one to blue. Okay, to that. Go back to our scene. We'll change these parts to blue, and if we want to change the yellow parts, maybe this across, and we want to change, I don't know which one this is selecting, so either one of these yellows are going to turn. We'll make it green, isn't there? This one, and we'll make it metal. We'll make it, yeah, kind of a rough metal. Okay, and there you go. There you have it. When it loads, that's sort of how you go about texturing something with elements rather than using like ID maps or using Photoshop to get our beta maps. This is just sort of a simple way you can go about doing it, and it's just sort of much easier because everything has its own independent texture space usually. I hope this helped anyone who sort of didn't like how the ID way worked, or didn't like having all their stuff in one texture map. If it did help anyone, leave a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.